Today, we're exploring a project that's been generating a whole lot of buzz, Stellar's XLM. Now, you might have heard of Stellar as one of the more established cryptocurrencies, but there's more to it than just a coin on the market. Behind the scenes, Stellar is working on a range of real-world solutions that could have some major long-term impact. And that's what we're going to be diving into today. We're going to unpack Stellar's potential use cases from payments, on and off ramps, asset tokenization, and aid assist, and explore why each could be a game changer in its own right. Our goal is to break down each use case, figure out which problem it is aiming to fix, and see how that could propel Stellar's XLM towards a future price between $2 and $4. I know what some of you might be saying. Hold on, that's a pretty big jump from where XLM has been. Well, that's exactly why these use cases matter. Projects with real-world application are the ones that stand the test of time in the fast-moving crypto world. Tokens come and go, but these ones kind of offering solid solutions are the ones that, well, actually really thrive. And that's what I'm seeing in the social sentiment today, or that's on Reddit or X or across various different crypto communities, is that essentially a lot of people are paying attention to Stellar specifically because it is tackling real-world problems. Let's start with the most straightforward use case. Payments. After all, the original vision for cryptocurrencies was to serve as digital currencies, something that you could actually use to buy goods and services. But as many of us have noticed, not every crypto is set up in a way that's actually practical or cost-effective for everyday transactions. And that's where Stellar aims to make a difference. The idea behind Stellar's payment solution is to enable fast, low cost, and borderless transactions. When we're kind of talking about making payments, we're not just talking about buying a cup of coffee at your local coffee shop, though that's a part of it. We're actually talking about cross-border remittances, business-to-business transactions, and person-to-person transfers that might be going from one country to another. In many parts of the world, sending money from point A to point B can involve high fees and, well, very slow processing times. Banks might charge hefty fees, and it can sometimes take days for that transfer to fully settle. On top of all of that, if you're sending money internationally, exchange rates can vary wildly, right? Adding another layer of complexity and cost. Stellar steps in here by aiming to facilitate near-instant, almost feeless transactions across borders. So you might be thinking, why is that a big deal? Well, in today's globalized world, we have thousands, if not millions, of people who rely on regular cross-border money transfers. Think about migrant workers sending money home to family members. The fees can often eat up a big chunk of what they're trying to send back. Now, when you introduce a cost-effective and speedy platform like Stellar, well, you're effectively making it more affordable for everyday people to support their loved ones. And that's a very huge social impact, not just a financial one. Now, additionally, from a business perspective, companies that deal with international payments can run into high overhead costs due to banking fees and currency conversion complexities. Now, by using Stellar, these businesses can potentially simplify their payment infrastructure, reducing costs and making it easier to pay suppliers and employees across the globe. Lower overheads can lead to better profit margins, and those savings can be passed along to consumers as well. Then we've got the social sentiment around this particular use case is overwhelmingly positive. People see a project that's actually delivering on its core promise of cryptocurrency, frictionless peer-to-peer transfers. This is, in many ways, the bread and butter of blockchain technology, and Stellar's focus on perfecting it is key. In the kind of long run here, if Stellar becomes a go-to solution for international payments that increases the utility of its network, when a blockchain network sees increased utility, the associated token often appreciates in value. That's where some analysts and enthusiasts see that potential climb towards $2 to $4. Now, beyond the technical and financial benefits, there's a kind of humanitarian aspect here, making money transfers more accessible and more affordable for people who need it the most. That kind of social good also tends to build a loyal community around a project. In the crypto space, community is everything. Now, when you have that support and excitement, it tends to translate into sustained interest and, very often, market growth. So let's move on to the second use case. On and off ramps. This might not sound super flashy at first, but trust me, this is a big deal for anyone who's dived into the world of crypto and realized how complicated it can be just to get your money in and out of the system, let alone the pitfalls if you do manage to do so and end up getting debanked later down the line. There's a video on the channel regarding that where Chris was debanked for a 2021 transaction to Coinbase. But we digress. Let's get back to here. So in simplest terms, on-ramps are ways to convert fiat currencies like US dollars, euros, or the yen into cryptocurrencies. Now, off-ramps are the reverse, how to convert crypto back into fiat. Now, in an ideal world, this would be as easy as clicking a button and paying, well, minimal fees. However, the reality of current infrastructure is that on and off ramps can be costly, slow, and sometimes confusing. Different exchanges have different rules, fees, and processing times. Some banks even block transactions to and from certain crypto exchanges, adding an extra hurdle for users. Now, Stellar's solution is to create a smoother path where exchanging between fiat and digital assets is streamlined and user-friendly. Essentially, they're building partnerships and infrastructure that allows you to move money from your bank account onto the Stellar network and vice versa with minimal fuss. So you left thinking, well, I haven't really had any of these problems. Why is this so important? Well, if the end goal is for more people to actually use cryptocurrency and blockchain-based services, then the entry and exit points need to be as painless as possible. Right now, a significant barrier to entry for newcomers is the complexity and cost of these on and off ramps. It deters people from taking the plunge into crypto, or potentially even leaves them stuck holding onto crypto without an easy exit strategy. It's even worse, right? Now, that's not the kind of ecosystem that fosters mainstream adoption. So by improving on and off ramps, right, Stellar effectively lowers the bar for participation. Whether you're a small business wanting to accept payments in XLM or a freelancer who gets paid in crypto, you have the flexibility to convert your holdings into local currency quickly if you need to pay for bills. This is crucial for mass adoption. So social sentiment around this topic is definitely growing. People in the crypto space frequently mention that we need more practical solutions to onboard new users. If Stellar becomes known as the platform that offers a frictionless payment or frictionless process, I should say, for getting in and out of crypto, well, that's going to draw a lot of attention and usage. More usage, again, means more demand for XLM. If the demand for XLM continues to grow, basic economics tells us that the price is likely to follow. Plus, companies, developers, and exchanges are likely to integrate Stellar's technology if it proves to be the most user-friendly option. Every new integration is a kind of endorsement that can boost both the visibility and credibility of the Stellar network in the market. This upward cycle of adoption and credibility is one of the driving forces that can push XLM towards that $2 to $4 target. Now, let's dive into the third use case, asset tokenization. This might sound a bit more technical, but stick with me because it's a real eye-opener in terms of blockchain potential. Asset tokenization is basically the process of taking a real-world asset, let's say fiat currencies, commodities, or even real estate, right, and representing them as digital tokens on a blockchain. Tokenization can also include assets like the stocks or bonds or precious metals, right? The idea is that by putting these assets on a blockchain, you make them easier to trade, more transparent in terms of ownership, and potentially cheaper to manage. Now, Stellar isn't the only project aiming to do this, but it has positioned itself quite strategically. The network is designed to be efficient and cost-effective for issuing assets. That means someone who wants to create a token representing, for example, a stablecoin pegged to a certain currency can do so easily on Stellar. The beauty here is that once these assets exist on Stellar's network, they can be traded quickly and cheaply, just like XLM. In the traditional financial system, transferring ownership of assets like stocks, bonds, or even property can be cumbersome, time-consuming, and laden with fees. Now, if you've ever gone through the process of buying property or even transferring stock portfolios, you know it's far from effortless. You have intermediaries at every turn, brokers, banks, registrars, and you name it, right? There's a whole host of people that want a slice of the pie. All those steps add time and cost to the transactions. Asset tokenization on Stellar could streamline these processes significantly. By representing ownership on the blockchain, you reduce the need for multiple layers of middlemen. You could, in theory, transfer partial ownership of an asset, like part of a property, in a matter of seconds. Not only does this option open up access to a broader range of investors, but it also helps in making markets more liquid. Now, if you only have $100 to invest in real estate, you could do that via tokenization without needing to save up a huge down payment. Now, there's a lot of buzz across social platforms about the potential for tokenizing real-world assets. People see it as a natural evolution of finance, given how slow-moving and, some of the traditional methods can be. Stellar's established reputation gives it, well, a bit of a leg up, since it's not just a brand new project trying to prove itself. Now, if businesses and financial institutions start using Stellar to tokenize assets, we'll see an influx of transactions and usage of the network, right? Now, that usage translates to network growth and, by extension, could cause upward pressure on XLM's price. Moreover, the possibility of tokenize almost anything gives Stellar a massive addressable kind of market, right? Now, we're not just talking about payments anymore, right? We're talking about real estate, equities, bonds, commodities, and who knows what else in the future. As more traditional entities look for ways to incorporate blockchain, a platform like Stellar, known for its speed and cost effectiveness, could very well be their go-to. This could be what sets the stage for long-term stability and growth, which is why some community members are confidently aiming for that $2 to $4 range. Last but definitely not least, let's talk about aid assist. This is one of the most altruistic angels of Stellar's use cases, essentially, right? And it's something that resonates deeply with a lot of the community members. Aid assist refers to the role that Stellar can play in disaster relief, humanitarian aid, and, philanthropy efforts, for example. Now, believe it or not, there's a huge need for efficient transfers and distribution of funds in these areas. When a crisis hits, like a natural disaster, the ability to send resources quickly and transparently to the kind of affected area can literally be life-saving. Now, traditional methods often involve complicated banking relationships, currency conversions, and sometimes even corruption or mismanagement of funds. Stellar offers a solution here, right? A platform where funds can be transferred globally in seconds with minimal fees, and with a transparent ledger that allows donors and organizations to track where the money is going. In an environment where trust is crucial, especially when people are in need, having that kind of transparency and speed is an absolute game changer. One of the biggest issues in humanitarian aid is ensuring that donated funds actually reach the intended recipients, right? In some cases, intermediate kind of organizations take a cut for administrative costs. In others, the money might get stuck or delayed due to, banking systems, especially when dealing dealing with multiple countries or regions with unstable financial infrastructures. Now, Stellar's blockchain can address these issues by making transactions more direct and traceable. Just imagine a scenario where an NGO needs to distribute relief funds to small villages, scattered across a region with limited banking infrastructure. Instead of dealing with expensive wire transfers to local banks, well, if those banks even exist, that is, the NGO could send tokens via the Stellar network directly to local field managers or even to individuals. Those tokens could then be converted into local currency via the on-off ramps, or possibly spent directly if local merchants accept cryptocurrency payments. Now, when a project proves itself in a humanitarian or philanthropy kind of context, well, it gains more than just kind of market traction. It gains moral capital and global recognition. People naturally rally behind a cause that's doing tangible good in the world. On social media, especially, there's a kind of a sense of strong wave of sentiment that appreciates and encourages crypto projects to go beyond just profit and speculation. So this can lead to partnerships with NGOs, charities, and even government agencies looking to improve efficiency of their relief programs. Each partnership amplifies Stellar's visibility, which has a cascading effect on adoption, community support, and ultimately the price of XLM. When people see that Stellar is used not only for businesses and finance, but also for saving lives and providing help where it is needed most, well, they tend to invest not just their money, but also their trust and enthusiasm. That combination is incredibly powerful in the crypto world. Now, we've covered all four major use cases, right? Payments, on and off ramps, asset tokenization, and aid assist. Let's take a moment to look at what people are saying online across X, Telegram groups, Reddit forums, and YouTube comment sections, right? There's a palpable kind of excitement around Stellar's direction here. Many users highlight how it's been around for a while and has stood the test of time, which is something that not every cryptocurrency asset can claim. Others point to the fact that they have an actual kind of roadmap of use cases that solve real-world problems rather than just hype or speculation. Even the skeptics, right? Because let's be real, crypto always has its share of skeptics. They tend to acknowledge that Stellar's focus on practical solutions sets it apart. Critics might question whether the network can handle massive scale or whether the $2 to $4 price target is realistic. But even those doubts often kind of come with an admission that Stellar is tackling an important issue. When social sentiment is balanced, but still generally bullish, that's often a strong indicator of a project's health. It suggests that while the hype is there, people are also looking at it critically, which leads to more sustainable growth than just a sudden price pump. Investors and the community members alike want a project to have staying power, not just one that shoots up in value overnight and then crashes down. Stellar's track record, combined with these robust use cases, is a big reason why a lot of the folks think that it might be one of the safe bets in a kind of notoriously volatile crypto market. So, can Stellar's XLM realistically reach $2 or even $4? The honest answer is that no one can say for sure how the market will move. That said, the reasoning behind these price targets often comes down to an increased demand for XLM as the use cases roll out and gain mainstream traction. Payments, for example, if more businesses and individuals adopt XLM for day-to-day transactions and remittances, we'll see significant volume of the network. On the on and off ramps, if Stellar becomes the easiest way for everyday users to convert between fiat and crypto, well, the ease, at least that ease, could be a ease of use, I should say, and could be a huge draw for new users. And then we can't ignore asset tokenization, right? The potential to bring real-world assets onto the blockchain is absolutely massive, right? Each new tokenized asset could drive more activity on the Stellar network. And aid assist, a tool for humanitarian relief. Stellar could foster goodwill, partnerships, and a global reputation that extends well beyond just crypto circles. You combine all of these factors, and you have a recipe for a long-term growth story. It's not just about speculation, it's about utility. Cryptocurrencies that serve practical needs are more likely to weather market fluctuations and come out stronger on the other side. Stellar has been around long enough to show that it's in it for the long haul, and its development team and community appear committed to refining and expanding these core use cases. From my point of view, the reason why I'm excited about Stellar is that they keep it relatively simple. Some crypto projects go in 100 different directions, trying to solve every problem under the sun. Stellar, on the other hand, is laser focused on these areas where blockchain can genuinely make a difference, improving payments, making it easier to get in and out of crypto, tokenizing assets, and adding aid where it is needed most. It's a strategy that feels both ambitious and grounded at the same time. That's not to say that these challenges, that there aren't challenges, right? We've got competing blockchains, right? In the payment space alone, means that going up against other large cryptocurrency asset companies or even established financial institutions. On and off ramps require a lot of partnerships with banks and fintech companies, which can be slow progress. Asset tokenization faces regulatory hurdles in many countries, and the aid sector often kind of involves navigating government regulations and compliance issues. So it's not going to be a walk in the park, but the fact that Stellar is even addressing these real-world challenges head-on is what makes me believe in the long-term potential. Social media conversations reflect cautious optimism, right? People see the value in these use cases. They like that Stellar is kind of forging strategic partnerships, like working with major companies or NGOs, and they appreciate that Stellar is, or at least has a track record of constant development. As more users, businesses, and institutions come on board, XLM stands a good chance of seeing the kind of demand that could push it to $2 to $4. Ultimately, whether you're looking at Stellar purely from an investment standpoint or a kind of more technology kind of driven humanitarian perspective, the project offers a lot to consider. Their roadmap includes the kind of functionalities that people need in the real world, right? Not just on paper. And that, in my experience, is the real key to any crypto success. But remember, nothing in crypto is guaranteed, and it's always important to do your own research. But based on the strong social sentiment, the real-world problems that Stellar is aiming to solve, and the steady development of the project it continues to kind of show, well, it's not surprising that a lot of people see a bright future for XLM. Let's keep an eye on how things unfold over the coming months and years. It's beyond exciting. Now, if you found this useful and informative, smash the like button. The more like buttons there, or at least the more likes there are on this video, the further that the YouTube algorithm will push the video. So if you want to spread the word about XLM and Stellar, make sure to smash the like button. Subscribe to stay up to date with absolutely everything that we do here on the channel, covering a variety of different cryptocurrency assets. And of course, if you haven't done so already, you might want to check that video out right there. It's one you probably don't want to miss.